In three, two, one. Hey guys, what's up? Today we are doing Gimmick Anime, and we're the two dudes talking. I'm Dude 2, that's Dude 1, and Gimmick Anime. Just anime that's built for selling stuff. What do you think?
Yeah, well, that's basically one of the primary reasons why, a lot of anime is created.
Right.
I think the first anime I remember ever watching or ever having anything to do with was like Astro Boy in the
Right.
West. And that sold toys.
Yeah, I think you
It's
can
it's
get
both
figures,
a,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's both a Western and Japanese concept.
Yeah.
You show a television series, and then the kids go crazy for whatever's showing on TV.
Mm.
Happened in the 1990s. It still happens now.
Mm.
The whole idea of a fad existing is like quite prevalent. But the thing is, a lot of these anime are not fads. They don't just come and go. They stay around for long haul.
Well, a lot of animes that we can think of, like the classics that we have here,
Mhm.
they stick around for a while. But then I think about myself like Bakugan, Vanguard. There was like those one two offshoots that come through. They hit the market, they hit it hard,
Mhm.
and they're there for a while, but then they just kind of disappear.
Well, Bakugan was kind of like that, just because the game was more of about rolling the
Right,
spherical Bakugan.
right,
But Vanguard, I believe, still has a decent following because it's TCG.
right.
So in Australia, like our normal game shops are called Good Games.
Yeah.
And if you go to that shop, you can still buy Vanguard cards. I think the anime is still going on because they just
Mm.
keep making sequels. It's pretty much become like a Yu-Gi-Oh in its own right. But this
But would you consider it still has the prevalence as it did when it first came out?
well, see, I don't watch Vanguard and I don't
Right.
follow Vanguard. The Western release for Vanguard when I was a kid wasn't really there
Yeah.
all that much.
Yeah.
I think there was another card series known as like Dark Masters or Duel Masters.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Macca's did a run with
Oh, there
them.
was Chaotic. Do you remember Chaotic?
Chaotic?
Yeah.
What was
Yeah.
Chaotic about?
So Chaotic was about these characters that went through like a digital thing, and they went into another world, and they would transform into the monsters, and they would be in that world as the monsters. It was very weird.
Right.
Again, it was like another one of those gimmick animes.
Sounds like Digimon Tamers.
It's almost kind of similar to Digimon in a way, because again, it had the whole digital aspect to it
Yeah.
behind it. And it was pretty big for a while. Everything from cards to the monster designs were all like. I remember I used to be flooded like in Target for a while
Mhm.
there. But yeah, after a while, it just died and it never came back. It just decided not to. I don't know if they decided not to bring it back or if the sales just weren't quite there, or I don't know. Yeah, that was another one that kind
Well,
of had its prevalence and then it
yeah.
just
Well,
failed.
speaking of prevalence, I think the biggest gimmick anime to ever come out so far is perhaps Pokemon.
Oh, for sure,
Pokemon
for
still
sure.
has anime series ongoing. Ash Ketchum, like Ash Ketchum was 11 when I was like 5 years old. He's
Yeah,
still 11.
he's 11.
Finally won a Pokemon League
He's
as well.
he's been 11 for 20 years, I think, roughly, and it
That's
took
right.
him like
And
20
like
years to win his first league as well.
yeah, and all the girls like that he's had around him have all
Yeah,
gone on to do better things, and Ash is still
trying to
doing
trying to collect
doing
them all.
doing the same thing. Yeah, trying to become a Pokemon master and collect
Yeah,
them all. Like I was happy in Aloha when I heard he actually did win
win. Yeah,
the Pokemon League there. But like I was also a little bit disappointed because the animation style was
not
like
quite there.
it went back a couple of decades in my opinion
So
because
yeah,
I guess they wanted to either cheapen the budget or
it's a new aesthetic, right?
maybe
Maybe they're trying
give
the
a
new
new aesthetic
aesthetic.
for the
Yeah,
kids and try to get the kids involved. Basically, what they did with Ben 10.
yeah, yeah.
Like maybe they just said, it's time for, not the
Like
adults
a
to be
new
watching
thing.
this,
Yeah.
but the kids to watch this. And I can understand that. It's Pokemon. But, I think it was in X, Y,
Well,
Z
yeah. Well,
that they really hit their
yeah.
animative stride. It was like really high quality anime.
The animation was really high quality, and XYZ, because the animation was such high quality, I feel like more people were into the anime.
Well, it was really
Um,
disappointing when he lost to, I think his name was Alan, right? He lost to Alan.
I can't remember, but yeah, he makes it to the to the final round, to the final fight, and he's because I did watch X, Y, and Z all the way through,
Hmm.
right? And they're in that tournament in the league, and it's a really cool tournament because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like that. They have like the actual tournament ground changes and all kinds of things,
Right.
and it comes down to Ash's Greninja versus his Charizard X,
X, right.
Charizard X, and it's so well animated, and it to the point where it has almost like a 3D effect because the camera also like I don't know how they did it. The camera pans.
Pans in a
The
360.
yeah,
like a panoramic view.
Yeah. So the camera does
It's
that
just good
panning.
animation style.
Yeah, exactly. And then you go from that to this Aloha style of
Well, see,
animation, and
going on to that-
you just lose track. You just
Well,
be like,
with
what?
that fight, that wasn't even the first time Ash fought that trainer.
No, he
It was
fought.
like
He
his
fights him a
second or
couple of
third
times.
time,
Yeah.
So you really thought he would have won.
Yeah. Well, and especially the thing is, while Charizard X is very strong, obviously we know that. Ash's Greninja was no normal Greninja.
That's right.
It was supposed to be like this special warrior Greninja, right? And so you knew it was better than every Greninja out there.
Yeah.
And it still somehow loses.
And it's a water type, isn't
It's
it?
a water
right?
type, yeah. So it had the typing advantage against Charizard, but then obviously because he's in X, he's a dragon type. So dragon type's effectiveness is what? Dragon against dragon. So
Right.
so since sadly Greninja is not a dragon, it didn't work out well.
But I'm sure a legendary could truck a dragon.
Oh, legendaries are their own thing altogether at that point.
Like I know the X Charizard beat Mewtwo in the Pokemon Origins.
Oh yeah, the animated
anime series.
Well, that was Mewtwo. Well, the thing is that's X Charizard, which is a Mega Evolved Charizard.
and it's red.
Yeah. And it's red.
It's red.
It's Red's Charizard.
It's Red's
so it's
Charizard.
gonna be OP. But the thing is, Mewtwo doesn't transform in it.
No.
Mewtwo doesn't go Mega form.
No, he doesn't.
Because he has 2 Megas. If he picked to go into either Mega, he probably would have wrecked him.
Yeah.
So
That would have made sense. But
Yeah.
yeah, like Pokemon was like this massive thing that was meant to sell Pokemon cards.
yeah.
But to be honest, I didn't have too many Pokemon cards because my parents found it really hard to buy them. Like, you know,
Well, it was hard to buy them. It was hard to find them legit.
Yeah.
That was the big thing. There were so many
lot of
bootlegs.
markets. So many markets you
so
just
many
get them.
bootlegs. And then here was my problem as a kid growing up. I couldn't understand how to play it because I only ever got the cards. The cards never came with a manual.
Right.
Whereas like if you got like the Yu-Gi-Oh pack, like a big one, it comes with a manual and like comes with like the whole arena that you can lay out all your things in.
Yeah.
The Pokemon cards, they're just like, here, you figure it out. And I was
Yeah.
like, shit.
But see, the other thing they also sold was the games.
Right. They expected you but the thing is the card game doesn't work on the same principle as the game.
Yeah.
Like the typings and stuff are there and the Pokemon are still there and like so you understand the basics.
The game is better. It's a better
Yeah.
thing though. It's the game was like this awesome thing. Like I
Yeah.
remember the first Pokemon game I played was I borrowed my cousin's Game Boy Color.
Yeah.
And then he gave me Donkey Kong and Pokemon Yellow to play.
Okay.
And Pokemon Yellow is probably the best one for me because
That's where you started.
It's Ash.
That's where you
Ash because it's about Pikachu.
Fair enough.
And it covers like the Kanto region.
Right.
So like I got through. I think I got all the way up to when the last 4 league members.
Oh, the Elite Four, yeah.
The Elite Four,
yeah.
and then after that you're supposed to go and take on Mewtwo. But yeah, I didn't get past the Elite members because I didn't have enough potions and whatnot.
So
and
you-
also like I just focused on leveling up my Charizard.
Yeah. I think everyone had that like favorite Pokemon growing up where like that's the one I'm putting everything into.
Yeah, I put everything into
Yeah.
Charizard, but I kept the Squirtle and Bulbasaur the same. I didn't evolve them.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
I just wanted to keep it like very anime like, just keep it
Yeah.
like just how Ash kept them.
Well, Pokemon is clearly the first juggernaut, and then we had Digimon come into the scene and try and capture like a similar market.
Digimon is very similar to
Yeah.
Pokemon, but while they do have a TCG arena, so
Yeah.
trading card arena, especially now there's a new Pokemon TCG card game coming out at the moment,
Right.
alongside the release of Digimon Sai, which
Right.
is basically the original Digimon cast set in 2020.
So they'll have access to all the modern things and stuff. Yeah, right.
So I'm following that to an extent, but it's just a little bit hard to keep up with because I'm way older than I was before, and
Right.
the OG series has. A
Oh,
special
there's
place
that,
in
and
my
the simple
heart.
fact is, do you have the time for it, right?
Yeah, but this is a Digivice 20th anniversary, but it's actually quite similar to the first Digivice I got.
Right.
So
So they kept that original
Yeah, yeah.
design again
It was-
for the
it was-
anniversary, right?
It was but it was hard to get, especially in Australia and the West. The Digivices shaped like the ones in the TV series. You can get them. there was a release here, but it was extremely limited, and these things
and the
sold out like crazy.
on the second-hand market. Holy crap! I like these things right here.
They're
like,
cheap. These are pretty cheap.
No,
You get them for
they're
like 30
cheap now.
bucks.
No, they're cheap now. But like that's because I think they've had like second waves out now. I think
yeah,
right.
yeah.
But I
Second,
remember
third
the
waves.
first wave of these when they came, and I think they were only exclusive to Hebe and a handful of other retailers.
Right.
It was crazy. If you didn't get it, you didn't get it, and you find it on eBay or whatever, and it
there
would
was
be
a lot
like
of
$150, $200.
And that's the thing with gimmick anime. Like, a lot of people start scalping the items.
Yeah.
It happens with Pokemon
Yeah.
cards. But, like, you know, Pokemon cards is a little bit different because the cards that are rare are the cards that, you know, the OG collectors have, like, you know, just
Yeah.
kept in plastic cases. Like, I don't really like it when, like, something like this comes out and you just buy it to sell it again. And the thing is, like, I think Bandai and, like, Bandai realized how popular it was and it just kept
they're like-
releasing.
They're like,
Because-
here, have another one,
Yeah.
and then another one.
This one here was this color here is the Greymon version. So the
Yeah.
the Taichi. So the special Digimon you can get in this one
Yeah.
is Taichi's Agumon. It
Okay.
basically turns into Taichi's Greymon,
Yeah.
his Metal Greymon,
Yeah,
and his
and then
War
War
Greymon.
Greymon. Yeah.
So like that's why I bought this color.
Yeah.
I've also got they did a gray version as well of this one.
Yeah.
And that's got Mats.
Oh, it's got Gabumon.
Yeah, Ishida's Gabumon,
Yeah.
his Garurumon, his War Garurumon, and then his Metal Garurumon.
Yeah.
Like so, like it's like just a good piece of my childhood to have. So like I bought 2 of each because like 2 to
Why
play
not?
with and just 2 to just keep on
That's
the
just,
shelf.
why not?
They're just like good shelf queens, you know.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Just it holds like a special place in my heart. But like Digimon, like yeah, it was a massive series, and it's basically like a Tamagotchi, but like way better.
Yeah, yeah.
And-
I mean, because the thing is, Tamagotchis. I remember when those come out, they were huge as well, but
Yeah.
they didn't have a corresponding like massive anime to go with it.
No.
Yeah, so you didn't have like your nostalgic factor was the fact that you bought the toy.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of girls like Tamagotchis.
Oh, girls, heaps of girls bought those.
It is a unisex item, but like
It was
the idea of taking care of
yeah,
a pet was like
it was a girl's
akin to
thing.
taking care of like a baby.
It was a
and
girls
stuff.
thing.
Whereas like we use this to like battle and whatnot.
Yeah.
And
Again,
yeah.
it's the while both toys are unisex, it's those little things that make it more akin to one gender over the other, right?
Yeah. Like to be honest, like in terms of the quality of the anime and the themes of the anime, the original Digimon Adventure, and I'm at the moment only talking about and Digimon Adventure 02.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to talk about for now. They were like some of my favorite animes in my childhood. Like
Right.
I really like the story that they told. You know, we did have Digimon Try, and because like I'm an OG fan, I did watch that.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy it as much because I found the storytelling to be a little bit weak,
Yeah.
and the themes to be a little bit weak. And me and you did watch the Last Evolution movie, and I'm
Yeah.
just like,
That
bro,
movie is so bad.
this is not a
It's
Last
so
Evolution
bad.
movie. It's just like, you know, like it's awesome to see the Digimon on like the big screen, but the
Well-
story was just like. You do realize at the end of 02, this is a completely different ending.
Yeah.
We know the characters don't end this way, so it's not Agumon and Taichi's last adventure.
Well, they try to do it where it's a significantly heavier, more adult anime,
Yeah.
and I get it. Look, I get it. It was for the audiences that have been with Digimon for a long time, but I think the audiences that came to watch it were severely disappointed because when you think about these characters. And they say, oh, your potential's run out. That's why they're leaving. And I
Oh,
was, they have more potential.
It's not about, like, it's just, you've grown up and you've chosen your path in
Yeah.
life, so, like, now you
No,
only do Digimon.
I'm a grown up and I want to buy more Digimon.
Basically, yeah.
Don't you
But,
judge
like,
me?
It's kind of like they just took the magic out of the
Yeah.
characters' lives. And, like, again, spoiler alert, like, you know, if you haven't watched the movie, you should watch the movie. It is a good movie. You're gonna be depressed at the end of it. Like, I would say... pretty Titanic depressed at the end of it. You're just gonna be like, this doesn't make any sense. We've seen adults with Digimon.
Yeah.
Why are these people in university now having to let go of their Digimon? You know,
Yeah.
it just doesn't make any sense. And I think they're probably because they're milking the franchise. That is not the final nail in the coffin for the original
not at
for the
all.
original Digimon series.
Yeah.
I do envision a second movie coming out, probably focusing on the 02 generation. But because Agumon and Tai are just such big characters, like they had to make a movie that was centric on them.
Yeah. Well, again, we don't know exactly what's gonna happen, but we'll hopefully see some proper resolutions to all of this.
Yeah.
And
I think that will
yeah.
lead into like our next one, which was it's still going, like Beyblade.
Okay, look, for Beyblade, for me, I stopped at the end of Metal Fusion.
Right.
That was okay. So there was the original Beyblade series, which
Yeah.
sadly
So
is not so bright in my memory anymore.
Well, the original Beyblade series, I rewatched all of that. Like I
Oh, okay,
downloaded
yeah.
all the episodes off YouTube because
Yeah.
some genius, some like top shot guy had uploaded all like 3 or 4 seasons
Yeah.
of Beyblade on. So like this is Beyblade.
It was super
Beyblade,
convenient.
I think it was Beyblade V and then Beyblade G-Force.
Right.
I think those are the names. Like he had uploaded all of it on YouTube, and I'm like, you legend.
How do you think I rewatched all of Bakugan as an adult? Because it was so hard to like find DVDs or whatever. So I was like, you know what? Let me just type it in on YouTube. The guy had the whole series
For
on
us,
there.
Beyblade was like I just watched the original 52 episodes as a
Yeah.
kid because you watch it every morning, so it's hard to keep up. And the
Yeah.
DVDs, like back in the day, we had like video cassettes. Like you know how hard it is to collect video cassettes? Like it's ridiculous.
And there's the fact that they don't really hold well.
Yeah, and like your parents aren't gonna buy you like a 52 episode DVD.
No
That's
way, it's
something-
way
that's
too
something
expensive.
That's something you do as an adult.
Well, even as an adult, right? Like Australian prices for movies and DVDs in general are very expensive.
Yeah,
we don't get you buy a DVD for $10. Nah, it's always well over $20.
Well, I paid I think for the entire Office series about $120.
Yeah,
and,
but
like,
yeah.
that was worth to me.
But
in my
that's
opinion.
worth it. But like that's a whole series. If you go out to buy just like one DVD,
Yeah.
it's like $20-something.
Well, when it comes to anime, like
Yeah.
in Australia, like one DVD will set you back $30-$40.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
6 episodes will
Or
like set you back that
especially
much.
if it's something that they know that this is like this episode, these specific episodes or something is people really want and of this anime, they'll jack the price.
Yeah.
They'll always jack the
They
price.
always jack the price.
And then you look online overseas, it's like half the price, if not more, and or even less. And you'd be like, you know what, I can pay for that and have it shipped. But then you think to yourself, will it play on my DVD because of region lock issues?
When we went to Malaysia, like
Yeah.
and like we bought the original Malaysia versions of the DVDs.
Yeah.
And like they had English subtitles.
Yeah.
So these aren't bootlegs. So
Yeah,
like,
they're official,
we went
but,
to
like-
we went to actual DVD shops and they had these things there cheap.
Yeah.
Like and like it's just because it's just much simpler, you know.
Yeah.
Like so we bought like a number of original television series there that weren't bootleg that came in proper DVD cases, and they worked. Like they worked in our DVDs. They were a good entertainment piece in Malaysia because a lot of the TV there isn't in English.
Yeah.
It's only if you're lucky to have cable there that you
can watch something.
You can watch something.
Yeah.
It's more Disney anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, like in Malaysia, it was a much cheaper endeavor to buy DVDs and have them. But yeah, going on to Beyblade, like so what I have there, that is Dragoon. Let's have a look. So that's Dragoon Phantom. So Dragoon Phantom. So this is the second Beyblade and the final Beyblade that Tyson uses in the original 52 episodes of Beyblade. And that's why it's one of my most favorite Beyblades because he starts off with like Dragoon Storm and then he uses that.
Alright.
And Beyblade was this mad thing at school. Before we actually got Beyblades here, it took a while for the release to actually happen in Australia. We used to get the fittings of taps.
Is this the
throw
original
pens-
like big chunky one inside?
No,
or-
this is the Beyblade Burst version. So I
Okay, right. Because I
actually
remember
have-
the original Beyblades when they first came out and
Yeah, they
everyone
are
was grabbing
chunky.
them. They're like big and chunky.
I paid like $50-$60 for like the OG Beyblades.
Yeah, they're
from Japan.
They're freaking pricey.
Yeah.
Super pricey.
I opened them too. Like I'm just like, this is an experience I will not deny myself. I must open these Beyblades.
It's like screw the mint
But
condition.
I only focused on getting the Dragoon.
Yeah.
So I got like Dragoon from the OG series.
Yeah.
And then Dragoon from the I think it's the V series. Basically the series where they use the magnets, the magnetic maneuvers or the magnetic gimmick. And then in the last series, which I think was Beyblade G-Force or Beyblade Generations, I think it was G-Force. I have the original. They used I think almost 4 different Beyblades in that. They use
Well, is it like 4 different Beyblade design like
yeah.
things?
So
Or?
like with Beyblade, I think there might have been four, if there was four. No, there was 4 series. That's right.
Right.
There's 4 series with Beyblade. So the original Beyblade, and this is the thing. Like I only watched the original, but I watched the I've said this before, but I watched the rest of the series when I was like in uni because
Yeah.
you just download the entire thing. So the original Beyblade TV series, like they go through a number of Beyblades, and they pretty much hearken to the Beyblade Metal franchise because by the end of it, Tyson is using like this Beyblade called the Dragoon Metal Storm Ultimate version.
Jesus Christ, that's a mouthful.
Yeah, it was like super cool.
The one that I can mainly remember
So yeah,
is
the
Beyblade
original
Burst,
series
so
went
that's
from
me.
2001 to 2005.
Yeah, and then what
I
Metal
remember
was after?
in year 2 is when we were watching it in Australia. So like
Yeah.
that was a year after the Japanese release. So we watched the first series.
When did Metal come out?
Metal came I think in 06, 07.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, it feels more recent than that. I thought it'd be more like in the 2010s ish. But oh well. And then I think the most recent one was Burst. I think
So I've actually been following Burst. I've been collecting a lot of the Japanese releases.
I
for
tried
the
watching Burst. I
for
couldn't.
the Burst franchise. I actually have one of the Beyblade Burst Turbo releases of Valtryek. So Volt Oi, who's over here, he's the main character of that series.
Yeah.
But only the first 2 seasons focus on him. So by the time he gets to this one here,
Yeah.
he's like the world champion. He's like a legendary figure.
Right.
So basically, the new character in Beyblade Burst Turbo
Yeah.
has to go up against him. He defeats
Does he
the
win?
he defeats the bad guys in his series, and then he surpasses Volt. But then after Burst, you have something called Beyblade Super King.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's the latest series. There
Okay,
is one.
I haven't even heard of this
There
one.
is one before that. I think it's called Beyblade Burst GT.
Right.
And Volt's in that as well, and he has another Beyblade. But I stopped. That's only a web series, so I kind of stopped
Yeah, so
collecting.
that's.
I kind of
that's
stopped
different.
collecting at that point because it's just so hard to get those ones.
Yeah.
And Volt's like pretty much like a hero there.
Okay.
But like he's more of a hero, legendary figure. He doesn't have the world championship anymore, but they don't talk about that much. But in the Super King series, this character, even though he doesn't have the world championship, he's ranked the #1 blader in the world. And the guy who has the world championship
Yeah.
is ranked #3.
Oof. Oof.
Yeah, it's so funny.
You're good, but you're not the best, technically.
It's just so funny, and that is the longevity of the Beyblade series, you know.
Well, a lot of people have attached themselves to it through nostalgia, so there's that thing. And I feel like there's so much stuff to collect when it comes to Beyblade.
Yeah.
Because whereas in Pokemon you were mostly collecting the toys.
Yeah.
And like if you got the big packs, you got those minifigs, right? And for Digimon you only had the Digivices.
Right.
But Beyblade has Beyblades. They have different launches, different stadiums. You could build
Speaking
and
of
make your
launches,
own.
I think over here
Yeah.
I bought from Japan in a Japanese auction. One of his the launcher that he uses in the first anime series. So this after he upgrades this Beyblade, and that's the Beyblade Burst version of
Right.
Tyson's Beyblade. Everything else, I'll do a video on like all the Beyblades that I have.
Yeah.
But like after he upgrades that Beyblade, they give him this launcher to use, and it's like a digital launcher type of thing.
Oh,
Like
is this when the digital launches first came into the
yeah,
series?
it's like the first time you see digital launchers.
Right.
Like I have like kept this in its box. I actually did sell it, and then the guy just sent it back. And
Why?
I was like, oh, I don't know what was the issue. But I decided, I'm gonna keep this thing in my heart, and I'm probably gonna try and open the goddamn thing because it's so good. But I haven't got the chance to open it. But yeah, this is like an example of like the different products that came out at the time.
Yeah.
And like I got this for a decent price in Japan. So like if you go on like a Joust, that's like a Japanese proxy website. So you can
Yeah.
basically go on Yahoo auctions in Japan, and
Oh.
like the best items are in Yahoo auctions in Japan. It's
Okay.
basically where I got my Full Metal Alchemist chess.
Oh,
set.
the set. Yeah,
the
yeah.
Haga chest, which is so hard to get.
Yeah.
I paid like 15,000 yen for that thing, and it was initially released at like 9,000 yen, and I had to pay some money on top of that
For shipping and everything. Yeah.
and to pay the service for being able
Right.
to use it. But yeah, in the last OG Beyblade series, I think they go through about like 4 Beyblades. So basically, the way it works is that they start off like with his. He starts off with his normal Dragoon G,
Yeah.
which is this thing where you twist the end. So you
What?
basically you wind up the Beyblade at the end. You basically just wind it up.
You wind it and then launch it.
You wind it because basically it'll spin.
So is this before they had the rip thing?
Yeah,
Let
yeah.
it
No,
rip
no, no,
thing?
no, no. It still rips. So
Yeah.
you wind it, then you rip it,
Yeah.
right? And then when the rotations are slowing down, the driver is supposed to unlock,
and
it
then it
provides
kicks
an
in.
additional spin.
Right,
So
right.
he had two. He had the Dragoon. I think it was a G, and I think the Dragoon GV. He had two of those, and then he went to medals.
Right.
So basically, he went to the Dragoon medals. I think it was called Medal Storm, and then he was so it was called the Dragoon MS and the Dragoon MS UV, which was like the ultimate version. So I actually forked out $300 to pay for the Dragoon Medal Storm Ultimate version because that's how rare it is. But then I sold it for $350 because I was like, I cannot, in good conscience,
What?
like
Open it?
open it or keep this very, very expensive item. Like I just could not do it. I said no. This is where I draw the line.
Yeah.
I was in uni at the time, and you know the money's kind of like important to
Yeah.
keep. But just to have that Beyblade in my hand and say I have Tyson's Ultimate Beyblade in my hand was just like it was like next level awesome.
Oh, fair enough.
And like you know, the next series was more my brother's generation,
Right.
and my mother bought him a lot of bootlegs.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So that was the
That's the thing, right? As soon as Beyblade comes out or Pokemon, like they have new stuff released, bootlegs on top of bootlegs.
yeah, and
And you get them like at every like farmer's market.
yeah, and I actually got the metal like so Ginger was my favorite character in the metal series.
Yeah.
And I got all of his Beyblades
Right.
because I was able to get them for decent prices.
Oh, fair enough.
Like but the launches were really bad. The launches were like
Well,
the launches
I
broke. Like
I
after-
remember I had the launches for metal, and my problem was, you know, when you stuck the Beyblade onto it, it like half the time it wouldn't even hook on right.
Yeah, because
was
they
so
weren't
badly
using a
made.
jagged system anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
They were using more of a fine system.
Yeah, it was so bad. It was so bad.
It was like this. It was like this long wire, and I was just like,
Yeah.
"What was going on there?" And then after metal, it was like, you know, you have the they actually did this Bay Wheels type of thing.
What?
So you know how you had those it was I don't know what they used to call them, but they used to have these toys where you can launch wheels,
Yeah.
and they just go like they're just all terrain wheels and they go everywhere.
Yeah.
So you had the Bay Wheels series, which no one gave a crap
So it was
about.
a Beyblade, but just sideways.
Yeah, and then you had Beyblade Burst,
Right.
which I was like, who the hell is gonna buy Beyblades that actually burst?
break.
You know,
Yeah.
but they're actually some of the strongest Beyblades in the series. Like
I mean, technically they are the strongest, right?
there is a
They're, like,
channel called Beyblade
Power.
Beyblade Geeks, and they are like you know they're really good with their Beyblade videos, and they've done some battles where they versus medals versus the second versions of the. So these are like plastic gens.
Right.
So this one here, it's a plastic gen. So you'd think that it's going back in time, but you know these Beyblades here, even though they're burst Beyblades, they are superior to the medals.
Will you
because-
prefer them just because of
No,
the
they
way?
actually battle wise they actually are superior. They may not burst, but they last longer and their hits are a lot stronger.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that? Because wouldn't the metal, you know, it's a stronger material.
The medals were a lot smaller.
Oh,
It became an issue of size.
right,
And you know, really, in the first couple of medal series, like I think it was the Big Bang Pegasus, where a lot of the medals had like kind of, basically you'd achieve the pinnacle of Metal Beyblade.
Right.
And there was this Beyblade known as the El Drago. Which
Oh, the one that spinned in the
yeah,
other direction.
I have that. So
Yeah.
and the thing with that one is that that's metal, but it's also got enough rubber so it spin steals.
Yeah.
And that was like the first time that there was a Beyblade that like
Actually-
stole spin. So you can like you can hand launch that, so you can just twist it with your hand and then launch another Beyblade.
Yeah.
And it will the El Drago will win because it'll just steal the spin.
Fair enough. See, that's just clever engineering into
Yeah.
a toy, which I admit I do enjoy those factors.
El Drago was like the OG top, like very very top tier Beyblade.
It's a really cool thing when it showed up in the anime and it just like wrecks house. It's like this like three-headed dragon whatever thing going on.
Yeah, and like
Um,
the only way to beat that one really is to have something that you know just goes around the edge and doesn't go in the middle.
Yeah.
Because the El Drago just sits in the middle of the stadium. Or you go and what you do is you use another left hand, left
hand,
spinning Beyblade.
yeah. So then you're both even.
Yeah, and like I know we're talking a lot about Beyblade, and you guys may not know exactly what we're talking about. But have a look at the series. The new series is on Netflix. And,
Yeah, and so is Metal. Metal's on Netflix
the
as
first
well.
season of Metals was on Netflix.
Is it?
It's a bit disappointing.
Is it just the first? Because
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
50 something episodes.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
it's only the first season.
Really?
Yeah, because
Oh, wow.
there's like Metal Masters and stuff as
Oh
well.
wow! So it keeps going.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
There's a few. The Netflix series was like successful, very successful.
Yeah, I think so,
It became so successful that they basically made Ginger a legendary figure.
Right.
You know, like Ginger came back as a superhero pretty much. He came back as an adult.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
yeah,
Fair
yeah.
enough.
He lost those long sleeves he used to wear all the time.
Well, it'd be cool if they just kind of kept going with that thing though, like this.
Yeah.
But-
Well,
oh, well.
towards the end, I found that the later Beyblades for the Metal series were not
Yeah.
as good as the originals. Like
Ah.
in terms of ingenuity and the strength,
Yeah.
the original Metals were better. But the Plastic Gen, even though this is a burst series, this won't stand up to a Metal series just because it's not as big. It's very small
You know how
and it's not heavy.
like Beyblade puts in so much effort onto their like actual toys. What I'd really like if these Tamagotchi style digi devices, if they had like almost like a smartphone level like device instead, so it was like a little more like the animations and like the character inside the digivice would be a little bit cooler.
Well, in the Digimon movie, he was using his phone to get Agumon to digivolve.
Yeah, but sadly there's no half decent thing on the phone that as far as Digimon is concerned. So
Yeah, I know. Getting the IIS, but you wouldn't want to put your property, like it's an 8-bit property, and you wouldn't want to put that on something that can be easily stolen. Do you know what I mean?
fair enough.
And
fair enough.
replicated. I think they're just trying to protect the injury. Like it's much easier to protect the technology in something like this.
Well,
And it's also the
yeah.
branding and the trademark. You know, Digimon has also always been in this kind of a
The
device.
digivice. Yeah, not fair
By
enough.
the way, as an adult, you have no time to take care of a Digimon.
You tried?
Yeah, but I was working in law.
How'd
I was
that work?
working in law. Yeah, that wasn't gonna work. Like I couldn't like go to my law firm and I have this slinged around my neck.
Why not?
Yeah. Oh, it just doesn't work.
Look,
that way.
I was doing my marketing thing and I was still playing Pokemon Go. I mean, I was just lucky because like my office seat was on the edge of my
But
building,
see,
so I could
you
reach
you
the
can stop
the
Pokemon Go. This thing requires constant
Yeah.
attention. Like it dies if you let it shit too much. It dies if you don't feed the goddamn thing. You know.
It just dies a lot.
Yeah.
Simple facts.
And like I think we spent like a lot of time talking about Beyblade because it was my favorite thing.
Yeah.
But I think Digimon is like my most favorite thing out of everything.
Well, I've seen you be the most passionate about Digimon out of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Then you got Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Where do we start with Yu-Gi-Oh? Oh boy.
Yu-Gi-Oh is something. Is the reason why we're discussing Yu-Gi-Oh now is because there is a lot to discuss.
So
about
much to discuss
Yu-Gi-Oh.
when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh. But
Yu-Gi-Oh came
we'll
out when
try
I was
not to
in-
be as long as
It was like an 05, 06, 07
Beyblades.
anime. This thing is still relevant. You know.
yeah.
So this is something I bought when I was in uni, and it's like basically a collector's edition of Joey's
Original deck.
original deck. So
Yeah.
it's not really his original deck, but it's basically a booster pack series centered on Joey's deck,
Right.
and it also has My Valentine's
Oh,
Happy
she
Ladies.
was awesome.
Happy Ladies, yeah, Happy Lady decks are really effective.
She was like one of my first early anime waifus.
Well, the thing with My Valentine's deck is that it's one of the first
Archetype
decks,
ones?
yeah, archetype decks that
Yeah.
work in real life. Like
Yeah.
there's an actual semblance to the way that deck flows and goes about. Like I know Kaiba is also like in that kind of arena, but the Blue Eyes deck is something that's come out more recently.
Yeah, because
It's
when
been
the
developed.
series originally started, there was only the Blue Eyes White Dragon.
White Dragon.
Yeah.
Kaiba was more of an all-rounder like Yugi.
Yeah.
And like, all-rounder decks don't really work
No.
all that well. You really have to follow an archetype. Like,
Yeah.
I know my brother bought this deck called the Lightbringer deck.
Yeah.
And dude, it's a self-milling deck. And basically it mills basically you can mill that deck into the graveyard.
Oh, okay.
And like the more cards you have in the graveyard,
the better off you are,
the more
basically.
you can the more you can bring back, and like the more like some of the cards get stronger. Like
Right.
it's so stupid. Like that deck you can just beat like a properly established deck with that deck.
Well, if as long as you get to use all the broken cards that are in the deck, right? Because obviously in the
Well,
in official TCGs,
eh,
if it's broken, a
if,
lot
if,
of things will be
if you're
banned.
playing in an official TCG, then you only have 40 cards in your main deck.
Yeah.
That's it. Because you're not gonna get to use any more than that. Because you gotta be really, really efficient. But yeah, my Valentine's Harpy Ladies, they work really, really well. You know, it's the first version of a deck that you can use. I know Pegasus had the Toon World.
Yeah,
Oops. But Toon World was something that was hard to do.
Yeah.
And you know Rex and this bug guy also had their
Oh
archetype decks.
yeah,
But
the
also,
one that Yugi almost loses to the bug guy in the first thing, and you're like, really, Yugi? He's just some snot-nosed kid, and then later on in the series, he's not even relevant.
well, basically that bug guy, he just like says the only way I can beat you is say goodbye Exodia, and he just releases Exodia into the ocean.
And then literally we never gets Exodia back, which is really sad.
Yeah, he does, but there was a lot more Exodias.
Yeah, they had the dark Exodia version that shows up later in the series.
Yeah, there's like heaps more Exodias.
Yeah,
but like, who really draws Exodia in like
any other type than the original? Yeah, obviously, if you think Exodia, you always think the original.
Yeah,
original.
I'm pretty sure it's a forbidden card now, anyway.
Would it be? I'm not sure,
because if you draw Exodia, you win.
No, you have to draw all 5 pieces. That's the thing.
If you draw all 5 pieces,
yeah,
you win.
then you would win.
It's totally broken.
It's completely broken.
They didn't realize how big this thing was gonna be when it got there.
Well, originally I know that when Yu-Gi-Oh started, you know how Yugi is called the king of games, right? And
Atem is called the king of games. Yami Yugi.
Well, Yami Yugi, yeah, right. The thing is, he was going to play other games other than the card game. Right. That's why later on we have that other game. Remember the dungeon? It's called Dungeon Dice Monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have that thing going on. But so they were like, okay, we were gonna do other games that we had planned, but obviously the card game just skyrocketed. Mm-hmm. So they were like, all right, we'll stick to the card game aesthetic, and then they did the Dungeon Dice Masters just as a harkening back to, hey, we had other games planned, you guys just didn't get to see them. That's all.
Right. So, yeah, but like, when Yu-Gi-Oh started, I was rewatching this as an adult, and they're just throwing cards down.
Yeah,
they're not using like 3-star or 4 stars or sacrificing.
Well, when I first got my first card, and I wanted to play somebody, I was playing the same as the thing. I didn't know what the rule. I was like, they don't do that in the anime.
Rules to this game, like, there's rules.
Well, as a kid, you don't read the rules. As a kid, you just be like, that's how it plays in the anime. That's how I'm playing in real life.
And a number of times, me and my brother have like fought over Yu-Gi-Oh. Me and my university, like my friend I went to high school with and university with, he used a fake reverse trap card. I'm like, what bullshit is this? You're gonna try and get me with a fake reverse trap card?
Yeah.
Go home. And like we had a fight over like whether he could actually use the card or not.
Yeah.
But Yu-Gi-Oh was like this mad thing that's still going on. So you had Yu-Gi-Oh, you had Yu-Gi-Oh GX,
which I think is a lot of people's fan favorites.
I love Yu-Gi-Oh GX, but like Jade and Yuki's deck is like, it's an unwinnable.
It was the
Elemental Heroes.
I had the Elemental. I had, because I like, what's the name, Neos. Yeah, I liked his design and like some of the other ones. They were like really cool designs. So I was like, screw it. If I'm building any deck, and if I want anyone deck, I want the Elemental Heroes. And the thing is, their fusions were so awesome.
Well, you had the Cyber Dragons, which were basically like the counterparts of the Blue Eyes.
Yeah.
My brother combined Cyber Dragons with Lightbringers, and he did this without even knowing what he was doing.
Yeah.
He just said, "Oh, they're light types. It's gonna work well." Yeah. They work so good. Like, combining Cyber Dragons is just like ridiculously.
Well, again, like the thing is, I think nowadays a lot of people are so stuck on the one archetype, only working with the one archetype. But the thing is that the decks are made to work with other archetypes.
Well, what I did was basically I was into Xyz at the time, so I was building
Xyz summon everything.
Yeah. So I was building a Yuma deck, and I was using the Gaga Magicians. Gaga Magician, Gaga Girl, Gaga Boy.
Well,
Gaga Shield.
I just like that.
Gaga Cowboy.
It just harkened back to like Yugi's Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl.
And
I was like,
and the Gaga Magician isn't that strong of a card, but like the beauty of that card is if you draw 2 of them, you can control the stars, and like you can basically just summon anything. You only like 3 Gaga Magicians in your deck.
And if you do it just right,
oh my god, it works so well.
Yeah.
The Gagas work well within themselves. But what I did was I combined them with a lot of light cards and light dragon cards. So that I was also, while I was making a Gaga deck, I kind of made a hybridized light and dark deck, so I could summon Black Luster Soldier,
Oh wow.
and that
You're
was like
just
Yu-Gi-Oh's trump card. You know, because you banish a light card and a
I-
dark card from your graveyard, and you're allowed to summon it.
I think Black Luster Soldier. There's a variant of it which is I think the most expensive Yu-Gi card ever.
Right.
It was given I think it was given to the winner of the first official Yu-Gi-Oh tournament.
Really.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's the Black Luster Soldier. Yeah, and it's like a almost like a shiny kind of thing going on
Right.
it, and it's literally the most expensive Yu-Gi-Oh card ever go to market.
I don't think it's the most
You
expensive.
think so?
Yes.
Oh, from what I heard, if it's the most rare,
It was
one or the
the
other.
most expensive card was this card made for a Make-A-Wish child.
Oh, right.
and that
Yeah, I remember
card-
that.
That card ended up like selling for a lot of money, because
yeah.
it's the only card.
Yeah,
of its type.
it was a custom.
In the Yu-Gi-Oh world, like every character has their own type of cards, and
Yeah.
like they're unique. But in real world, you're
No.
just gonna sell as many blue eyes, white dragons, and red eyes and whatnot.
You know what I find funny is like when the series first started, everybody had the folders with like all the cards and stuff,
I
right?
didn't.
Oh, okay. I managed to get my hands on two.
Ooh,
But then again, I was in the US at the time, so it
Again,
was a lot
trying
easier to get my
Yu-Gi-Oh
hands on
cards
them.
is so hard. I basically had to build my deck up from boosters, which is not
Yeah.
the way to do it, because you need structure decks.
Well, I was buying my cards from Walmart at the time,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the thing is, in the US, I don't know if it's just the US economy, but it was like really cheap. It was like 50 cents.
Things in the US.
It was like 50 cents, and I could get a bunch of cards. So anytime my parents went shopping or whatever,
yeah.
just quick 50 cent, I get a pack.
Have you
It took me
the
no time at
Fiji-
all to fill out like two folders.
Have you seen the Fijian version of Yu-Gi-Oh?
No, I haven't. I
Oh
never
my
got into
So
this
my
when I was in
grandma,
Fiji.
when she went to Fiji, she bought me Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yeah.
And my
They're all bootleg?
Oh, they're so bootleg.
Yeah, I'm not
like
surprised.
there's a card with Joey's face on it.
Oh, well, which type? The
The normal face, but
Oh, I was like, if this is a funny meme,
it's just
you know
such a bootleg thing. It's just like, oh my god, who the hell is importing these fake cards in
Yeah.
Fiji? But yeah, like, so with Yu-Gi-Oh, you had Yu-Gi-Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh GX, Yu-Gi-Oh XZs, Yu-Gi-Oh. What else did we have?
Oh, wait, so you had Yu-Gi-Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh GX, US XCs, US Zexal?
You had Zexal. That's Zexal.
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh Zexal, but you had one before Zexal.
Oh,
which
5Gs.
is a tuning one.
5Ds.
5DS.
5Ds, yeah.
5DS. And there's Yu-Gi-Oh V-Rains.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh
I don't think I was
V-Rains.
paying attention if
And,
that one
and
was
there
around.
was another Yu-Gi-Oh. There's another Yu-Gi-Oh release, but like this thing doesn't die; it just keeps going.
It keeps
and going
no,
and
the
going.
thing, and you know what
Oh,
I find?
and the pendulum summoning Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, that's was that Zexal?
Yes, that's not. Is it? I don't think it's Zexal.
I can't remember anyway. It's been way too long.
I think Zexal is. Give me a minute. Let's just run this quickly. Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, I don't remember which one was the pendulum one. I feel like it was Zexal. I don't know why.
So yeah, there's Yu-Gi-Oh Zexal, which is Yuma series, and that's
Right.
when they do the XZ summoning.
Right.
Summoning, and then there's also Yu-Gi-Oh Arc V, and that's when they do pendulum.
That's Arc 5.
Yeah. Arc V, so yeah, Arc 5.
Yeah.
That's when they do pendulum. So here's the thing. In GX, they're still using the standard rules.
Yeah.
And they do a lot more,
It's still a fusion.
polymerizations
Yeah.
and fusion. So you can really use the original Yu-Gi-Oh cards and the
And it
original
still
GX
works.
cards,
It
and
still
it
works.
works really well.
It's after that
Yeah,
you kind of
and
have
then
to throw it
after
all
that,
in the
they do
bin.
5DS where you can do tuning,
Yeah.
which is basically if you have tuner cards, if you have a 6-star card and a 2-star card and they're both tuners, you can tune both of them.
I can't remember. I barely paid
Look,
attention to the 5Ds.
I think if one of them is a tuner, you can tune them, and then you can basically summon a special 8-star card from
Yeah.
your extra deck.
You know what?
XZs is basically,
Yeah.
you if you have 4-star cards, you basically combine them, and you get another 4-star
Yeah.
card from your extra deck. And then Arc V was this, oh my god, this ridiculous thing was basically if you summon 2 pendulum monsters
Yeah.
ranging from 1-star to 8-star,
Yeah.
you can just summon a limited amount of monsters onto your
Monsters.
deck. Not unlimited, but
Well,
like it
the
just became
pendulum monsters
ridiculous.
was look.
Pendulum is good because it basically what Pendulum did.
I just couldn't. I can't take the gimmicks anymore. That was
But
my
no,
problem with each series.
Pendulum became like its own meta series because
Yeah.
you went to basically the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX world, you went to the 5DS world, and you even went to the Zexal world. But you never saw any of the main characters.
Nah, it's just like in and out.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like a quick
And
in
then
and
by
out.
the end of it, they combined all of it together.
Is there a movie with all of these guys together? Because I know there's
Yeah.
the Yu-Gi-Oh movie, but it only has Yugi,
Bonds Through Time, I think it was called.
Is
It
it?
was Yugi, Jaden, and
the guy from 5Ds.
Yusei, I think is
Yeah,
his name.
probably the biker, hardcore
biker
looking
guy,
good.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And like
That's it.
It was a very good movie.
I watched it. I don't remember too much of it anymore, but I do remember enjoying it when I did watch it. It wasn't too bad.
I still try to play with my brother here and there where I can get
Yeah.
it. I still have my deck somewhere, like the one I made, and I spent a bit of money on it in university.
I gave all of my like Yu-Gi-Oh cards
That's
to
what
the.
you do with everything. You just give it away.
I gave it all away. I gave it all away to the kids that were living on the floor under us. I was like, you can have it.
No, it was like Yu-Gi-Oh was a great series, and like it was the first proper series which you actually sat down and like played properly.
Yeah.
Like as kids.
Right.
Like I'm not sure. Like I know people were playing Pokemon properly, but they were a lot older. But as a kid, Yu-Gi-Oh was the first thing I sat down and like
Tried to play. Yeah, me too.
Try to play the card game
I
properly.
remember I came to school and I was like, "Hey, you guys want to sit on the benches and let's play?" And like that's how we do it. And then that's how I started to finally learn the rules. That hey, you can't just summon this fucking 8-star thing out of nowhere. Nah, bro, you gotta sacrifice your 4-star there, and then you can give me something
So,
OP.
what was your favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card?
Ooh, probably Pot of Greed, but that's also because it's a little bit on the broken
My
side of
favorite Yu-Gi-Oh
things.
card was the Red Eyes Black Dragon.
Oh, I mean, if you're talking about just like monsters,
Monsters, yeah. Pot of Greed is banned.
yeah, I know, but I like the design. I just like the smiling face on the card.
It's broken. It's a great card.
My favorite Pokemon card, design-wise, I think it's Obelisk the Tormentor.
Right.
I loved his big beefy design because he's in the card and like his bottom half just kind of fades away, and it's like because his card is also like this dark, deep blue.
Yeah.
It was like my
Egyptian
favorite
card,
freaking thing. I loved just
I
staring
actually
at
have
it.
that. You know that, right?
Yeah?
Yeah, I have. So what I did, they released this Legacy edition of the original 3 Yu-Gi-Oh decks, and the original 3 Yu-Gi-Oh decks are Yugi's, Joey's, and Seto Kaiba's.
Yeah.
So like I have all three god cards, the 3 different versions of Blue Eyes White Dragon, but unfortunately, like they re-released the design of Red Eyes Black Dragon.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to get the OG design for
I'm
Red
not
Eyes
surprised.
Black Dragon. Like I don't know what happened to my original Red Eyes Black Dragon. I just can't find
You know,
it
it's my
anymore.
funniest thing about Joey. I don't know if you remember, but like it was a thing that Kaiba told him, like you're a second-rate duelist with a third-rate deck. I was like, what the hell? He was so mean to Joey, but then like by the end of the series, Joey's like,
Well, in GX, Joey
so
is in the
fucking
top
good.
3 duelists in the world.
yeah, he's so good.
Pegasus says, "This is my 5." He goes Yugi,
Yeah.
number 1, King of Games, Seto Kaiba, number
Yeah.
2, and then number 3 was Joey.
Yeah, not
Joey
surprised.
Wheeler. And like, I think if they like let it happen, I probably think they didn't want to take away from Kaiba's character or his rivalry with
Yugi.
Yugi. But I'm pretty sure Joey
Joey
could beat Kaiba. Like
What was that clock one that Joey had?
Time Machine.
Time Machine.
The Time Wizard.
Time Wizard. That was such a broken
So you
card.
maybe see you
Such
combine
a broken
you combine Baby Dragon and Time Wizard with a polymerization,
Yeah.
and you get the 1,000-year dragon.
It's just a broken card, and like if Joey was ever in a situation, he just put Time Wizard and just like, look, I'll figure something out.
And then he also got a Jinzo as well.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. So basically, Jinzo it negates the effects of all trap cards.
Oh, right. The he looked like a mum, not
It's
a
like
mummy.
a cyborg type thing.
Yeah, with like spikes and shit on his head. Yeah, I remember that.
I thought there would be a stage
I think
where
Jinzo's banned too, isn't he? I think in the
I don't know. I still
proper
use,
TSG.
I still use it.
Because no,
I don't play the proper DSG. Screw that.
I don't think anyone plays the proper TSG, TGS,
TCG.
TCG or TGS. Either way, rules. Like,
Oh, they do. Go to
Well,
in
no,
Australia.
like-
Go to any good game. You'll find the enthusiasts there.
no, they do. But like, if you're playing at home with like your brother or your sister, you just be like, nah, look, we're playing house rules.
They take the hobby seriously. Like they
Yeah.
take it really seriously. Like for me,
Well,
it's just a nostalgia
You have
thing.
to. You have to. One of my mates, he was really into Vanguard, so he took it seriously. So he got a bit of a reputation in Australia as a competitive TCG gamer, and then he got into Yu-Gi-Oh. He went to play in, I think it was Norway or Finland. He went to play professionally because
Yu-Gi-Oh?
yeah, in Yu-Gi-Oh, that like their full book tournament paid for everything.
Oh, he was probably taken over. He probably won because they do an international tournament for
Yeah,
Yu-Gi-Oh.
so I'm
So he probably
assuming-
won. He
yeah.
was probably the national champion.
Yeah, so he was really good. I don't know if any of you, I don't know what his pro gamer name is, but I won't say his real name, else people will start following us thinking. But I can show you the guy. He's pretty on point. He's really good. He's
Yeah.
a really good player. Really good player.
No, like,
He used to work for Gamezilla.
Oh.
Yeah,
right,
that's how
right.
he got the role at Gamezilla as well, because they were like, oh, we want someone from the gaming background.
Yeah.
And he was like, look, man, I'm like one of the best gamers around, so that he would do Gamezilla as his side thing,
Yeah.
and like his main job was competing.
Well, you should have gone into Magic because Magic makes good money in the US.
Yeah, but the thing is, he was doing what was big here in Australia, and at the time, Vanguard was like the biggest thing. For a hot minute, Vanguard was like the biggest thing, and then Vanguard kind of died out, and that's when he moved on to Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, then became big
So-
in Yu-Gi-Oh. So maybe if I had to take a guess, he's probably into Magic now. I haven't talked to him in like a few years, but if I had to take a guess, yeah, he's probably into the Magic
The
side of things
costs
now.
for Magic are like unreal.
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
US. Like the prize money is unreal.
Yeah, well, again, Magic, but while the tournaments are, I think the Magic community in general is just unreal. They're very dedicated to everything that has to go around that thing. Again, but I hear Magic is coming out with an animated series or something, so that'll be interesting. See how that resonates with people.
Well, if the kids like it, that's the see. If the kids like it,
No, it'll be a
awesome.
more adult
Awesome.
themed.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because Magic's very gruesome and the art design is clearly out there.
Right.
They've tried to make some of their art more PG, so there are cards now that have been redesigned. But
Yeah.
obviously, if you still have the original, they're worth a fuck ton
Yeah.
now. But I think most people prefer the original design, the gory, the bloody. Yeah. Anyway, back to Yu-Gi-Oh, the king of TCGs at this point,
Yeah,
except for
yeah.
maybe Magic.
Yeah. I think for Australia, Yu-Gi-Oh is one of the most popular
Yeah.
series. But Magic is big here as well.
Yeah, Magic is definitely big. Yeah,
It's big here as well.
definitely.
But because we have a small population, it's just not as big as the US.
Yeah.
But it is, I think, one of the most popular card games to come out of Japan. But the funny thing is they keep trying to make more of these gimmick things. So this is not one of my favorites, but
Yeah.
I went into the Good Game store and they gave me like a bunch of free cards for this thing called Buddy Fight Club.
What the?
Yeah, it's like Buddy Fight card game. I was like, okay, I understand it, but like I'm just not into it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna buy it just for the sake of buying it.
Yeah.
The anime has to be good. And like this is the thing, a lot of these animes here, like
Are all good.
they're all
They're
good
all
animes.
good. They're all good, and that's just not nostalgia speaking. You
Like,
can go back and watch
speak-
this as
like,
an adult.
Look at Yu-Gi-Oh! Like Yu-Gi-Oh! In the start, the rules weren't even like properly laid
No,
out.
they were. Well, the thing is, it wasn't supposed to be this big. It was supposed to be one of many games in
Yeah.
the series. Yeah.
And like with the original Digimon, like they focused on the series. Like
Yeah.
they did a good job in the series. Like the one thing I was disappointed about in the series, which made no sense to me, it was like somehow Sora ended up with Matt instead of Tai, which I don't understand because like there was an entire movie where Tai gave Sora a hair clip.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, you don't like my hair," and then he was just like, "Oh, I have to say sorry. I like your hair. I just thought you'd look like nice with this hair clip." And then somehow she ends up with like Matt. I was like, "What's going on here?"
Look, we're not saying the writing is always the best, but it's
no,
pretty
no. The writers always said the idea was for Matt and Sora to get together.
good. Right.
And like Tai basically by the end of the series. And like this is not really a spoiler because if you haven't watched the original Digimon series,
You've had your time. You've had like
Yeah.
20 years to watch this, man.
and if you're gonna watch it afterwards, I'm not really spoiling anything. The journey is still fun, even if you know where the end
Yeah.
is. So like Tai becomes like a member of the United Nations with Agumon.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember
so
that.
he becomes he's one of the and like Matt becomes
become
an
like-
astronaut.
They become some kind of like he becomes part of like their Digimon defense team
Yeah,
or something. Yeah.
He becomes a bigwig. Like
yeah.
like Tai is like his original role was to be a leader within the group, and like he's like this cocky guy that doesn't care, and like he acts before he thinks.
Yeah.
In the Tri series, like you see him develop, and he's thinking a lot more before he's acting, and Matt's like, "You're not like you were used to before," and like that makes sense.
Yeah, well,
because
it's developed.
he's developed as a
yeah.
character. But yeah, he actually uses those leadership skills.
Yeah.
Whereas Daichi, who is the main character for the O2 series, basically the guy who inherits Tai's goggles.
Yeah.
And basically, like, there's a point in the anime where like everyone has been defeated, and they can't defeat Daichi because he has no negative thoughts.
Wow.
He's like,
Okay, I've got a question for you since we're on the Gimmick anime where you buy things. Out of all the series that you've ever watched that you've gotten into, what have you spent the most money on?
okay, so
And you like this has to be 100%. Yeah, I've probably spent way too much money on this one specific series.
Gundam.
Gundam?
Yeah, because Gundam is a gimmick anime. Like, it is made for the resale and for the selling of
the
model kits. Yeah.
Right,
so
Gunpla.
I've spent the most on Gundam.
Right.
But like, if you want to know where I like spend my money, so I bought all of Naruto's manga, so I still have that. I ain't selling any of that shit.
Yeah.
So I have all of Naruto, I have all of Rurouni Kenshin, I have all of Siren, I have all of Death Note, I
Yeah.
have all of Busa Renkin, I have all of Food Wars. There is a number
Food
of
Wars is classic.
there is a
It's a
number
modern
of,
classic.
of manga series that I've collected and just
Yeah, but
got
those
there.
are that's the manga that you're going to read. I would like these are like toy gimmicks.
And I spent a fair bit on Yu-Gi-Oh
Yeah.
too. Like, I bought a number of tins. I was trying to get a lot of the elemental heroes. Spent a fair bit of money on Yu-Gi-Oh as well.
Speaking of tins, I think you got one right here. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a Zexel tin.
Yeah, it's
so
got a
back when I was
Zexel
trying to
tin
make my Yuma deck. And
How'd that work out?
I was number hunting. Actually, I got a fair few numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to get all the numbers.
Oh, you have another Yu-Gi-Oh thing back here. What is that?
Oh, you can bring that up.
Oh, if I can reach it, yeah.
This goes okay. So I have an Artifacts J, Artifacts J Joey.
Like you said,
Joey Wheeler.
Red Eyes Black Dragon is his
Yeah.
favorite. Look at that.
Yeah. Artifacts J Joey Wheeler series figure.
Right, so this you
and
go
like
with it.
like so it's a perfect size to go with it.
No, but artifacts they're usually fairly sized.
It's about this big. It's like a 1:6 scale of Joey Wheeler.
Yeah, so this dragon is a little
It's
bit on the
smaller,
small.
but they're actually in the original. They are smaller.
Are they?
Yeah, because they're playing on the little, before they got the dual discs.
Right,
And that's what
right.
I really want a dual disc, and I'll just show you something.
Yeah.
That was the OG design for the card. For
Yeah,
the
that's
Red
not
Eyes
what
Black.
they have anymore,
No, they
right?
don't have it.
Yeah.
It's more like this.
Which I don't like, to be honest.
So if this focuses on there, it's more like this, and like it's still cool and I still like it, but I didn't buy the pop vinyl that came out for Red Eyes Black Dragon. I bought the
I've
pop
seen
vinyl that
the
came out
pops,
for Joey.
and I'm just like, I'm not really. Because I collect a fair few pops, not that many. I have like I think in the 20s or 30s when it comes to pops, but I was tempted to get the.
I have
Yu-Gi-Oh
and
one.
that's I have a lot of pops.
Yeah, you have more pops than I do. I think.
I had all of My Hero Academia
Yeah.
pops, but I sold all of them for a profit.
Yeah, fair enough. But like I was like,
Just because, and guys, the reason I sold the
Yeah.
My Hero Academia pops was because Funko was making it so hard for you to actually get proper pop figures at retail prices. Like, it was ridiculous.
you
Like,
think so?
yeah, it was getting really hard. Like, you don't want to be paying $100 for a pop on its first release.
I thought they weren't allowed to jack the prices at retail stores.
Not at retail stores.
Oh,
but
like when you're getting it
people-
secondhand.
Yeah, because
Right.
some aren't released in various regions.
Right.
Like, there is a metallic Trunks pop I have, which it came in a mystery box.
Yeah.
Like, well, it came in a capsule corp box.
Right.
And because it was Trunks, I collect everything Trunks. I bought it. I paid $84 for that mystery box.
Oof.
And the Trunks is the only reason you do that, because there was a
'Cause you
special
want that.
there was a special 1-in-6 chase of Trunks, which was a metallic version of that character,
Yeah.
which I didn't get. But I wasn't gonna
You're
spend
gonna
any
fork
more.
out
So
that
I bought
much.
2 of those boxes to try and get the chance, and I sold the second box for $90. So I bought it for 84, sold it for 90. I'm just trying to recoup some of that money that I lost trying to get the Trunks. Yeah, like, and that's the cool thing. Like,
That's what happens with all of these.
Yeah.
They like whatever gimmick it is. Like I remember. Okay, so when so I used to be a Bakugan collector, which also I gave away sadly. So the original Bakugan cards had metal cards.
yeah.
So that was a big thing that I think nowadays you don't really see in anything.
Yeah.
And
Oh, they did have metal cards. They did.
So they were high quality cards.
It was a magnetic system. Yeah, that's right.
So like if you can find those, they still go for a decent chunk of price. But well, Drago not Drago Drago. He was actually quite common, oddly enough, but it was actually
they did this mega release of Drago. They released a massive
big ass ball. Which I didn't like, to be honest. I always tried to stick to the original.
You ended up getting that. They're like, someone got that for you.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was. But I was like, hey, I'll take it. I didn't mind it. But I prefer to collect the original sizes.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the cooler way. So I had to make sure I got the entire crew from the first series, which I did. But then as the series went on, they changed the entire crew. The only one that stayed was Dan and Drago. And I was like, alright, fine, Dan and Drago. And then they also had his friend who was basically a plot device because he was rich.
Yeah.
So he had solutions to all of their problems. Right. And I forgot who used to wield the air type Bakugan.
Was the cool guy?
Yeah, the cool guy.
Shun.
Yeah, that's right, Shun. Shun stayed throughout the series, but his Bakugan kept changing, which was really annoying.
Really? Didn't he have like a main?
Yeah, he had a main.
He was using like a dark Bakugan, wasn't he?
No. So he was using the green like air type ones, and his main one from the first series becomes like the archetype, like the main. You know how they're like the main elemental ones? It becomes the main elemental like one for that type, and then they're like, alright, Shun's no longer using that.
Right, yeah.
And then here's Dan still using Drago, even though he's the archetype for
Drago is the main guy.
Well, the thing with Drago is he's glitched in the game. Well, not in the game, but like in the series. He's not just your average Pokemon. He's got what's called Bakugan. Again, too many ons on this, alright? The thing with Drago is he's got the warrior gene or whatever it's called. I believe it's called the warrior gene.
Right.
And literally he can keep evolving.
Right.
That's why he was so broken. So I think there was only like 2 or 3 other Pokemon Bakugan in the whole series. I think there's only like one other, if memory serves me right. Which became Drago's main competition throughout the series, and he was introduced in the second series, I believe, Gandalian Invaders, I think.
Right.
And that was the guy
I didn't watch Bakugan.
It was the guy that had like the mask. I don't know. I
know it's on Netflix, but I still couldn't give 2 shits.
Netflix only has season 1. If Netflix uploaded the rest of it, it would be awesome. But you know the thing is, I ended up watching the entire series on YouTube. And the last bit of it, like I ended up watching on Amazon. Amazon has like the last 2 seasons on there, so
Amazon has GX as well.
Yeah, so Amazon has some really good stuff. If you're into anime and stuff, I think Amazon is probably the best way to go because Netflix Japan is not available in Australia, so it sucks pretty bad here.
Yeah.
But at least we got Psyche K, which is not too bad. Psyche K is pretty good. Yeah. So like when it came to Bakugan, I collected the hell out of it, and like you remember on our trip to Japan, I was looking for Bakugan all over the place.
Well, the good thing about Bakugan is that like you know what you're buying.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like Beyblade, there's no mystery about it.
Yeah, you know what you're getting.
In Yu-Gi-Oh, there's a number of cards that used to only come out in booster packs before they actually released the decks.
Well, I think for Yu-Gi-Oh, if you wanted the 3 Egyptian gods, originally you had to get a specific pack or whatever it was, then you could only get it. Bakugan, I don't think Bakugan ever had anything like that, but the only main rare character was the one that looked like a Hydra. He looked like a Hydra, like he had like the 3 heads, dual head thing going on.
Right.
He was like the main antagonist for the first season. So like that guy, he was the most rare Bakugan.
Is that the blonde guy that was actually part of the team?
Yeah. It turns out to be actually part of the team. That was like the rarest one that like between me and all of my friends, and I managed to actually get my hands on one.
What did you do with all of it?
I gave it all away.
I'm gonna slap you.
Yeah, I know. I regret it very much as an adult, but I don't mind it as a kid because like as a kid,
this is the guy who also gave away his PS2.
I gave away. Oh well, there that goes.
That's alright.
That's alright. We'll get it eventually. I gave away my PS1, my PS. No. Whoop. They're all everything's just falling now. Yeah. All right, screw it. We'll just leave Joey to rep the whole team. I gave him my PS1, my PS2. I gave away like the driving thing for PlayStation. I gave that away. I gave my Xbox away.
I never discussed any of this shit with me before you did it.
Look, I didn't have these things growing up,
Yeah,
and like when I got them,
get that.
I gave it to people that I think were deserving of it, you know.
Right.
So I think
No, you
in
actually
the,
had those things growing up, but you
Well,
gave it to people who didn't have them.
okay, I was a little bit more fortunate than most people,
Right.
at my age, especially from Fiji.
Yeah,
And then,
yeah.
so
that makes
it was like people don't know, like, if for those of you that are not from Fiji, things in Fiji, like, if like I was probably one of a handful of kids in all of Fiji that had a PSP.
Right.
Like, in all of Fiji, the only people that I knew had only kids that I knew that had a PSP were kids of multi-millionaires.
Right.
That was it. And like, I only knew like 2 kids in all of Fiji that had PSP. And anywhere I went with a PSP, people used to lose their minds. They used to be like, and they also used to think I was some snobby kid who wouldn't give them. Like, no, you can play with my PSP. I don't mind. Just don't drop it. That's my only thing. You can play with it. I don't mind. I shared my things with people.
Yeah.
You know. And then when I left, I gave a lot of my things away because I knew there were people there that were gonna appreciate it.
Right.
And same thing with the things I gave here. I gave it to people that were living in the apartments with us. You know. I give it to people and kids that deserve it, that want it. And
I hoard.
Yeah, you hoard, I give away. Again, it's different philosophies.
But the thing is,
we both enjoy it.
There's not many people I could give it to here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you did quite well in those situations where you like, it actually was a good idea to give those stuff
Like
away.
my Xbox, I ended up giving it to my cousin
I wouldn't have played
in
that
Fiji.
anyway.
So I ended up giving it to one of my family members who shipped it to them in Fiji because he was going to Fiji anyway. And like that, so I was like, it's the right thing to do.
No, it's the right thing to do.
You know,
they definitely don't have those consoles.
Yeah.
And for them, like an Xbox would be like what?
Like $1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be like the next. It's pretty much what like everyone thinks the new console is gonna come
Yeah.
out. Like that's how rare it is to have those type of things in Fiji. But yeah, going on about that, there's other like gimmick anime that I really was fond of and that I got into, but like you had to be kind of older, so it was Zoids. Ooh. Zoids was also made to sell model kits.
Got a Zoid back there somewhere. Oh wait. If I can reach it.
It's right there.
If I can just grab that real quick. Just gonna be double handing it. There you are. Zoids. I'm not gonna put it because just in case it might fall.
No,
you can hold on to it.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a Zoid, and basically this is like a blasphemous version because this is like for this one you don't have to build it. It came ready made.
Yeah.
But like for something like I have a couple of kits up there that I'll bring down in a minute. That like you had to build it, and it's a lot more intricate
all
than
the
a
way up
Gundam.
there.
Yeah,
I would leave those there. That's so far up.
Might as well just show them, just for the
Fair
sake
enough.
of showing them.
Fair enough.
But like these, it's really intricate build.
Yeah.
And when I actually finally got my hands on a Zoid, like that was my graduation gift. In year 12 that my mum got me.
Right.
She asked me what I wanted, and I said I want this Zoid. So I got a shield liger.
My graduation gift was a kebab. I'm not even joking.
Are you serious?
Well, my parents asked me what did I want, and I was like, I want a kebab.
Yeah, no, my mum got me. She paid like $50 and got me the Zoid from Japan.
I got a kebab. I was like, because the thing is, the graduation ceremony is so long, and because the annoying thing was, so I don't know how.
I grabbed that Zoid just now.
I don't know how for other people it was, but it was set where like everyone that was getting an award or whatever, you were sat at the front in alphabetical order. So I was getting awards and I was sitting at the front. I was one of the first people up there, and I had to sit and wait until everybody else gets through.
Right.
So I was very hungry by the time it was my turn to leave.
Right.
Sadly. But oh well. Oh yeah, show him the model. That's cool. Command Wolf.
This is a Command Wolf. I can't get my Blade Ligers because they're actually under a lot of things at the moment.
Yeah.
But this is basically a Zoid. So this is one of the smaller versions, not even one of the bigger versions. This one didn't take as much
144 or
much time. And this is a special one because the new models, like see this logo here, it's colored. But the new models, they come with a silver logo.
Oh, like I think that one has that, right?
They don't do the pilots anymore.
Right.
So this thing, it came with his own pilot figure.
Right.
And it's a pre-painted pilot figure, so it's no cheap deal. So basically, one of his legs came off.
Oh well.
Oh no, it's fine. It's pretty easy to tack on.
Yeah, see, when I look at these again, Takara Tomy makes these as well, right?
Yeah, Tomy makes these too.
Yeah, Takara Tomy.
So that's my that is my Command Wolf. I think I did a decent job on it. It's actually stuck together really well. And what I was talking about is you can see that little minifig there that's just being focused on now. That is pre-painted out of production. So
Right. So you don't even have to put effort on that one.
Yeah. It's a good like little thing that it's a touch that we don't get anymore.
Right.
Because right now, like the guys in charge of doing this thing, they don't give those figures anymore.
Well, the care is just not there, right? It's just about sell. Yeah.
Which is why, like, I bought a Liger Zero, and I was expecting BitCloud to be there.
Nah.
But he wasn't. Like the BitCloud figure wasn't there anymore.
Are there new releases coming out? Because the new Zoid series is out, and if you haven't watched it, it's on Netflix.
What's it called? Zoid's Wilds?
I can't remember because I haven't watched it myself, to be honest.
Is it English
I saw the animation style and it looks super kiddish, and I was like, I don't want to really watch this.
So that's basically my Blade Liger. I've got the menu in here, but like it's basically a runner type thing. So it's very much like Gundam.
It's again, it's the whole Gunpla way of building things, right?
We did a whole video on
Gundam.
Gundam as a topic, but this is more about the building. And
Yeah,
that's the gimmick thing. So this was made Zoids was made to sell this product here, the anime.
yeah.
But like Zoids Chaotic Sentry was one of the best animes out there.
You know what I just realized? How many things is Takara Tomy building? Because they're doing Zoids, Beyblade, and Transformers. Again, an anime that was built to sell toys.
Well, that's the entire purposes of companies like Bandai,
Right.
and like so
Takara Tomy.
This is Bandai. This is Konami. This is Takara Tomy.
Yeah.
The entire purposes of these businesses in Japan
It's just to sell toys.
sell products. But a lot of these actually start with the manga first.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh started with the manga and the anime, then they built it. Same thing with, I believe, Digimon. Right.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that they released the Digimon anime first. I think
just to see if there was
Bandai
any
already had a
interest.
Tamagotchi concept going.
Yeah.
But the Digimon anime really sold this product.
Pokemon, it was the game first, then they made the toys.
Right.
Transformers was the toys first, then they made the anime. They had the toy ready, but like.
And then you got Transformers robots in
Yeah, we got Gen 1.
The gimmick show.
Yeah, we got Gen 1. But I still, you know what I hate about the whole like the Japanese and Western version of Transformers?
What?
Is literally just the fact that Optimus is called Convoy.
Really?
I hate that. Like Convoy, where Optimus Prime sounds amazing, and here is just Optimus Convoy, I think.
Yeah.
And I was like, that just sucks. Because, like, even for Rodimus, because when Hot Rod becomes Rodimus Prime, it's Rodimus Convoy.
Yeah.
Convoy doesn't have the sound of Prime, you know? And I really hate that. But again, I don't know if that's a Takara Tomy thing or if it's the guys actually behind the series.
Right.
Because maybe it was a printing problem, like the Prime was too many letters or not enough letters, or...
Yeah.
Either way, you know.
That makes sense. And, like, this has been a good podcast and video that we've done because like the Gimmick series is why we did the Gimmick series is because we want to show you something we're passionate about and where our roots in anime actually like started from because it was these gimmick shows and these shows that were made simply to sell a product that got us into it. Now the sad thing is that there's not too much of that going on at the moment anymore.
Well, I think there might be. We might not be as aware, or even if there is, they're just not as good.
Well, here's my example. So, Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon, Beyblade,
Pokemon.
These things are still going on. Zoids, they're still going on. Gundam, they're still going on. Pokemon, it's still going on. So those great stories are still continuing.
There's no one like new, right?
But like there was something new called Monsuno.
Monsuno.
Yeah. So Monsuno is a more recent series where, like, they used to have these. I actually have one. I got one from Japan. Basically, they're in these like tubes, and you spin the tube and it comes out.
Oh, right. Is that the ones when they bang and then like right?
But the anime was just a poor show. Like,
I think that was on Toasted TV, right? Yeah. I remember watching that. It's just very boring.
It wasn't that good, and it was so bad, in fact, that they didn't even dub. They didn't even bother dubbing the rest of the second season. They dubbed it up to a point and they said, we're done. We're not doing anymore.
Again, not Chaotic. Well, Chaotic was a series that was basically made to sell the toys as well. What's it called? Bakugan situation. Bakugan, big hit.
That new Bakugan series is like It's a slap in the face
new
to
one,
the old fans.
yeah, the new one, no one cares about it. Like, okay, so you know when I heard Bakugan was coming back, I was like super hyped.
You told me.
I was super hyped. I was like, "Oh, Dan is coming back. We're gonna take it to the
bought
next."
every single one.
I would have bought every freaking Bakugan, especially if it was still based on the original smaller design.
Yeah.
And now they're like, "Oh, but look, they're so much more intricate." But I'm like, "Look, they're way bigger though. I don't want it to be bigger, and I don't like these intricate designs because they're a pain in the ass to put back into the ball."
Yeah.
Just keep it. Go back. You had an iconic miniature with your game. There was no reason to get rid of it. And like if you bought some of the special packs, you got an actual minifig. You know, so go back and please make that. Yeah, you gave me Drago. Yeah, and I still have it sitting in my room. So.
Well, that will fit in your cabinet for sure.
Yeah, I have it on top of like I have it on top of my you know that box that I have where I have Iron Man. I have it sitting on top of Iron Man because they're both red.
Yeah.
So I was
and that's the sad thing. Like the Yokai Watch was like I think another good series that came out.
It was pretty popular. I know initially. Yeah.
I think it was just the gimmick was more of the watch and the games that came out. That's the products it sold.
I think even I think it was McDonald's. Even McDonald's got in on the Yokai Watch. Yeah.
Yokai Watch, and that's kind of Yokai Watch reminds me of Ben 10.
I think it was. I will admit, when I was first watching it, I literally thought it was Ben 10.
Ben 10, yeah.
It's just like an anime version of Ben 10. But I was like, I'll watch it. It's actually pretty funny. Yeah. It is pretty funny. I'll give it that. It's like genuine jokes in there. But I couldn't follow the series.
Well, it's not really a battle anime. It's more like a young.
It's an adventure anime. Yeah.
But you know, these series represent like a great time in like in our lives, like Pokemon, Digimon. Like my favorite Pokemon to this day is Charizard.
Arcanine. Oh, at least fire types.
Yeah, Charizard. My favorite Beyblade is any Dragoon-based Beyblade.
I think Leo for me.
Oh, right, yeah, from the Metal series.
Yeah.
But the Dragoon is my favorite Beyblade across the series.
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh is my favorite. Joey is my favorite duelist from Yu-Gi-Oh.
Mine's Yugi.
And like in Zoids, my favorite Zoid was the Blade Liger and the Shield Liger.
I never really watched
Zoids. Yeah.
Zoids. I watched little bits when it was on, but I never cared enough. So yes.
Yeah. So like they were like great series that you know you can really get behind.
It was a great look. If you're whether you're an adult or a kid,
it was a great time.
It was a great time growing up, and if you haven't watched it and you are growing up, highly recommend going back. And if you're an adult who's missed any of this, go back and watch it.
Like maybe Yu-Gi-Oh is Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon are a little bit like hard to watch because like it's just a card game.
No, but look, the first series I think it's perfectly fine. Just don't think the way they play is the actual rules.
Yeah,
that's the only thing. Yeah.
But Digimon is still relevant.
Yeah.
Digimon is still relevant. Zoid's Chaotic Century is something you guys should watch for sure.
Right.
Chaotic Century is an awesome anime. It's aged really well. Like they used 3D back in the day for Zoids.
It's not as bad as Beast Wars, is it?
No, it's really good.
Okay.
Because they meshed the 2D with the 3D.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I like those types of 3D.
Yeah. So like whenever you're fighting with the Zoids, it's in 3D.
Okay.
I have it. I have it in a legit source, and I will give it to you. But you know, you can find a lot of the Zoids on YouTube. Like it's really hard to find in the actual place. But the other Zoid series that I really liked was Zoids. What was it called? So you have Zoid's Chaotic Century, Zoid's Fuses, and there's one in the middle of that.
It's like that's my problem with Bakugan because Bakugan had like so many, and then
I
the original,
like this is the one with
I just
big
forgot
power.
all of their names. I can only remember like Gandalian Invaders.
I just make sure I tell you guys this one. New Century. That's right. Yeah. Chaotic so Chaotic Century is more about war.
Yeah.
New Century is they do Zoids as more of a Quidditch type game thing, so they verse each other.
Okay, no, that's
so it's
fair.
more like a round robin tournament. It's definitely something you guys should watch. Highly recommend watching any of these gimmick series. Even though they were made just to sell a product, the series are really, really high quality.
Look. Here's the thing. There might be gimmick stories, but look at one of the greatest animated shows of all time that's considered by any, whether you West or East, G1 Transformers.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Amazing series, and Transformers the movie is true for a lot of people the only movie that's ever come out for Transformers. And the toys are awesome to go with it.
Yeah.
It's always fun. I mean, there's like the Masterpiece line that's too freaking expensive, but in general, the toy stuff that you can get at Target, Kmart is great.
Yeah.
It's great.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's a good place to.
So, what would your favorite one be out of all of this? All these.
Out of all,
it's really hard to decide.
Out of all, it's tough for me to decide between Pokemon and Bakugan, but I think if it's just the original Bakugan, it might take the lead just because there's more adult themes in it.
You like that more as well.
Yeah, I like the more adult theme.
For me, it was Digimon.
But like, look, Digimon is great, but then I always prefer the more adult. That's why I really loved Pokemon XYZ. I loved XYZ. It felt like it finally took Ash from being a kid to an adult.
Right.
Even though he's still like 11,
Yeah.
Maybe he's more like 15, 16
He's
now.
like the most accomplished 11-year-old out
ever.
there.
And Pikachu is probably the only Pokemon that's like fought every Pokemon in like legendaries or some shit.
His evolution, like he started his journey at
have you heard? Apparently, Pikachu might be evolving to Raichu.
That's so stupid.
Yeah. So they've I've heard some rumors that Pikachu might finally be evolving into Raichu in the upcoming season. Only problem is if you think about how many battles Pikachu has been in already, he will be the most powerful Pokemon in an instant because it's like an overpowered Raichu.
You reckon?
Well, that's
Pikachu is overpowered already.
Yeah, but that's the thing because he'll be building on that base. So Raichu will come out of nowhere and he should be able to like one-shot pretty much everything that's not legendary.
I don't think they'll do it because Pikachu
is an icon.
Is a mascot character for the series. And it's Ash's Pikachu that is a mascot character.
Well, do you want to know something interesting about Pikachu? Pikachu actually lost to Greninja for the first time ever.
Yeah.
In the popularity polls for what most popular Pokemon, the only Pokemon to knock Pikachu off the podium in years of consecutive wins, probably since like the series started, is Greninja. Right. And I think that's the major reason they were like, we gotta get rid of Greninja. Greninja has to go. Yeah. Because they were like, otherwise Greninja will have to become the new mascot, and then they'd have to pretty much redo all advertising, mascots. Because Pikachu is a mascot not just for Pokemon. Pikachu's a mascot for the freaking 2020 Olympics. Well, now 2021 Olympics, right? There's Pikachu's on planes. There's a full Pikachu themed, I think ANA flight that you can get on, or Pokemon themed. Right. So if they had to redo the entire thing, it would be Greninja, and that's just fuck. You have to repaint a whole plane? No one's gonna do that. It's too much money, too much effort. But yeah, I think it's between Pokemon and Bakugan for me for the top two. Yeah. I would say probably Pokemon nowadays, but again, that's mostly because I'm still continuously playing Pokemon. Yeah. Whereas Bakugan, I've completely dropped it, especially after the new season kind of salted me.
Well, when it comes to Pokemon, Eevee, I was always more of an Eevee guy.
Right.
Than Pikachu, just because Eevee is very diverse in its skill set.
EB Games has a new Eevee shirt if you want. It's a all black Eevee.
I don't buy Eevee shirts.
But it's nice. It's very cute. I have the Pikachu that's like the pair that came together.
Yeah, I see.
It's really nice. Yeah, I have the Pikachu one. It's pretty nice. It's a nice shirt. Again, another gimmick. Not really a gimmick, but hey, another thing to sell based on the the really popular anime that came out of it.
But I don't think they'll turn Pikachu into Raichu. So stupid.
Again, these are just rumors. We'll see how it goes.
Pikachu prefers being Pikachu.
Yeah, because he had the chance to transform. Yeah. But again, we'll see how it goes, and I think that's a good place to wrap up.
It's a good place to end up. Wrap it up. But let us know down in the comments below, or just message us. What is your favorite Gimmick anime series or Gimmick television series? Yeah. Because I'm sure there's something out there, but we're just a little bit too busy to check. Yeah. As far as I can tell, there is nothing all that substantial. But if you're kids and you like this type of thing, let us know what's going on, and we'll give it a go. Yeah. And we'll definitely talk about it on this show, because that's kind of the point of this show. Yeah. We discuss things that we really like and enjoy, and
we'll discuss things that we haven't watched but you have, and we'll do our research. We'll watch it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, aside from that, this was I think a really good episode for us to do the Gimmick show. We will do an episode probably where we start ranking all the Gimmick shows in terms of sales, right. Yeah. Which one we prefer as being the best and whatnot. But as far as this one, we just really wanted to show you and give you a little bit of an insight into our background when it came to watching anime and television shows and pop culture in general.
Yeah.
And I think I'll
Yeah.
let you finish it off.
Well, that's all there is for today, to be honest. We've pretty much covered everything. Look, if you want anything specifically talked about, leave it in the comments below. We'll do our research, like I said already. Yeah, that's it. Two dudes out. Peace.